the Constitutional Court makes the following order. Mr. Jacob Zuma is sentenced to undergo 15 months imprisonment. Mr. Jacob
That's Judge Sisi Kampepe. On June 29th, she delivered the verdict that sentenced former South African President Jacob Zuma to 15 months in prison, with no option to appeal. The verdict did not go down well with many of Zuma's supporters.
I can tell you that, as you can see behind me, these are ANC members from Mpumalanga province. They say they are here at the former president's home to support him as he is left with only a few days to hand himself over to the nearest police station.
Shoot us, Mosh! Want to die for Zuma? Why are you doing like this? Unless you keep Zuma a serious problem!
On July 7th, shortly before the midnight deadline, Zuma handed himself over to the authorities at the Escort Correctional Center, and there began his jail term. What followed was perhaps the worst violence South Africa has experienced since the end of apartheid. In KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng, people took to the streets and raided shopping centers, burned warehouses. They shut down entire neighborhoods. Video footage shows people walking away with large appliances and electronics in shopping carts. But for the most part, people were taking food from grocery stores, saying that their families were starving after months of COVID lockdowns. Armed community members and vigilante groups took to the streets to protect their property. And the government sent military troops out to restore a sense of calm. While Zuma's arrest was the trigger, the unrest quickly took on a life of its own. Many say that it spiraled because South Africans feel the government is not meeting their needs, nor listening to their concerns. I'm Lesedi Mokgwatle from the Children's Radio Foundation. Today, we hear from youth reporters at radio stations across South Africa who took to the streets and tried to figure out what happened that week in July. And what's next?
I was doing grocery shopping, and as soon as I finished and was making my way home, I started to see a group of people running inside the mall. And that's when I knew that something big and shocking is going to happen. I then rushed home. That's when I turned on ENCA for the news. It was actually shocking for me because you could see that people are running up and down, people are stealing, like they are taking stuff from the shops, they are burning shops. So that's when I knew that this is so bad because now people are going to lose jobs and there was stampedes and some people are going to die.
By July 13th, on the 5th day of unrest, 72 people had lost their lives. 1,234 people had been arrested, mostly in Zuma's home province of KwaZulu-Natal. But the unrest also struck the city of Johannesburg. At Alex FM, a radio station in Metro Johannesburg, where a group of youth reporters host radio programs for youth every Saturday, looters entered the building and stole over 4 million rands worth of broadcast equipment. Overnight, the violence spread to two other provinces, Mpumalanga and the Northern Cape.
Stop the looting, we'll stop the shooting. Yeah. If you are looting, we are shooting. Because we got no food to eat, no sinkwam, nothing.
In the face of a situation that seemed impossible to control, vigilante groups mobilized to protect their own business parks and neighborhoods.
Some community members stood their ground and they wouldn't let people in. They wanted to be looted. They want to be part of the statistic of another mall looted. So you got people standing outside the mall and saying, this will not happen in my neighborhood.
At the end of it all, 3,407 people were arrested. 342 people had died. The week of unrest, it cost the economy a reported 50 billion rands. Many youth reporters and their communities found themselves reeling in the aftermath and wondering what's next.
They affect me in a way that I cannot concentrate on my schoolwork or even study. I always have thoughts of what might happen to me if the looters break into the school, so it's very draining, emotionally and mentally draining.
Because of the looting, we do not have a couple of warehouses that were used as major points of arrivals to a lot of companies that would import or export food in and out of South Africa. So economically, it was bad and it didn't bring any changes. If anything, it made things from bad to worse. So it was a very bad decision that the country had made to loot. And here we are reaping the repercussions. As for the looting, it took me steps back because I was on a mission to get a job at Penn. And once that came and hit, as you all might understand, that Penn has now officially been fully looted, I lost the opportunity that I thought would change my life.
In my yard, we stay with people who are working at retail stores. So seeing them not going to work really broke my heart because they were used to going to work and they are youngsters. Like, you understand, with the problem that we have in our country of unemployment, now you have to stay home.
Personally, I felt very vulnerable because of the looting. It's just had down my confidence that I will never ever make it in life, or there's just a delay in my life, and that there's no way that I'm gonna get a job.
When the TV cameras had moved on to the next story, communities were left to reconcile with the violence and the disruption and the broken trust.
Yeah, you got people on two sides. The ones who are for it or ones against it. In a way, it just separated the haves and the have-nots. Those who have were against the looting. Those who don't have, they saw as a positive way to put out the message that, yo, you guys don't deliver on your promises, you guys are corrupt and we're tired. So the looting had to happen.
The looting made us realize that a lot of people are living in poverty, and it's mostly black people. That's what I noticed about the looting, that it's a lot of people that are going through a difficult time. It's not like they wanted to loot because they liked it. They knew it was wrong, but a lot of them were providing for their families.
I mean, it goes back to the whole thing of the level 5 lockdown from last year. People lost their jobs, people ran out of money. So the looting was a way of them saying, okay, since you guys have no answers and you just keep making promises, you guys will just have to reimburse the malls and the shops that we're gonna loot because we are hungry and we're trying to look for jobs, but there's nothing. So
Overall, our youth reporters expressed an overwhelming sense of sadness at the levels of desperation that led people to steal basics such as food and diapers.
I think in our country, we are facing two types of challenges when it comes to looting. We have a challenge of government officials looting, of which all of us, we know about it. We have seen how the damage it has caused. It has a very serious impact, and negatively so, on the country's economy.
deliver on your promises. Food parcels, for example, they were supposed to go to the poor, but they were given to families and close friends of people who knew somebody who has access to the food parcels, which is kind of greedy because these are the same people who have food, who have a stable income, but then they just want government freebies. They want to freeload.
Just like everyone else, young people are searching for meaning in all of this.
It was bound to happen due to the condition the government left us in. It happened because of years of neglect to the public and people.
People were tired and they were angry and they want their voices to be heard. And that's why I think the looting happened. Did it go too far? Yes. But it opened a lot of eyes for people to see that there's problems in South Africa that we need to face, that we need to fix.
Again, it comes back to an issue of what young people think its leaders are doing for them and what they aren't. That's it for today. I'm Lesedi Mogwatle, and this episode was produced by the team at the Radio Workshop. That's me, Joe Jackson, Andy Limsomi, Mike Rayfeld, Martha O'Donovan, and Darshan Moodley. A special thanks to the youth reporters from the Children's Radio Foundation who do the brave work of asking tough questions. That's Logan Henson, Wilson Skukune, Sia Mokwena, Sibonelo Stole, Andy Swahlengwa, Abigail Maedza, Tandega Tusini, Tsegofatso Nakedi, and Puselo Tsojiane. Also thanks to the community radio stations they report from: Ahanang FM, Alex FM, Radio Atlantis, Emalahleni FM, Moza FM, GL FM, Umgungundlovu FM, and Vibe FM. Newsreel footage from The Guardian, ENCA, and IOL. Music is by Blue Dot Sessions. This podcast and the work of Children's Radio Foundation wouldn't be possible without support from UNICEF South Africa and the Nedbank Foundation, Africa No Filter, the Open Society Foundation for South Africa, Fossil Foundation, and the American Corner in Cape Town, a program of the U.S. Mission to South Africa. Visit our website for more information and to support our work at childrensradiofoundation.org. Until next time.